Hello and welcome to the first Tech Spotlight. In these video briefings, we'll be bringing you short and snappy legal updates and discussion points about tech and data, both in the context of tech businesses and all of the other businesses that purchase these services across a range of sectors, so from leisure and retail to financial services. So with a blank canvas and everything to talk about, what are we going to be covering in the first episode? Well, whilst we couldn't have imagined talking about this not that long ago, we have to start with COVID-19. It's definitely one of the issues that our clients are asking us about on a regular basis, so it's a great place to start. Now, whether that's the acquisition or development of new tech, so lots of our clients are doing that, think track and trace apps, or dealing with the need to collect additional data from customers, COVID-19 is throwing up plenty of tech and data issues. Today, though, I want to talk about a topic which is close to my heart, pubs and restaurants. Now, these businesses are now the subject of government guidance, whereby they should be obtaining personal data from their customers to aid with government-led track and trace initiatives. Personally, I've no issue with this, but there is a legitimate privacy concern here. Having said that, I've read a lot in the papers over the last week or so saying that this is a personal data related disaster for businesses, often accompanied by sensationalized quotes from lawyers, inevitably trotting out a reference to the admittedly large potential maximum fine under the GDPR. But let's clarify a few things. Firstly, whilst there'll be lots more personal data being recorded and stored if you're tracking every customer, lots of pubs and pretty much all restaurants out there, other than the ones that are far too cool for me to go to, already took these types of details for reservations. They already therefore needed to comply with GDPR in respect of that data. So for my local pub, who've implemented a requirement for a lead customer to give their data, which for the record, there's absolutely nothing stopping them doing, they aren't a million miles away from a pre-COVID restaurant. Secondly, whilst it's clear that some form of tech would be better for storing the personal data, ideally something that would allow you to use your own phone, for example, so you don't turn the pub's iPad into the perfect COVID-19 vector, there's nothing wrong from a GDPR perspective with good old pen and paper. So if you are going to be using that kind of record book, just make sure you apply the GDPR to those records. So for example, don't leave your sign-in book or your booking book unattended at the front door. And when it's not being used, make sure it's stored securely. Thirdly, and finally, the government's guidance requires you to delete the data after 21 days. So please make sure you do this. There's likely going to be a temptation for some businesses to use this newfound data for other purposes. And I'm thinking mainly of marketing here, but this really should be resisted, not least from a customer relations and PR perspective, as people are unlikely to thank businesses for exploiting this new data that they're obtaining for their own benefit. Now, no one is belittling the potentially burdensome nature of these measures from a practical perspective. It's more than some businesses are already doing, but let's not overhype the legal GDPR issues. That's all from this edition of Travis Speaks Tech Spotlight. Thanks for listening, and we hope you'll join us again soon.